Cool. So any minute now, this relay switch timer will turn on, and it just turned on. So that means there's water's flowing right now. I haven't got this permanently set up right now, well, until I test the water, ideal water intervals, the length of the time the pump is turned on. Originally had it like 15-20 minutes, but I quickly noticed that this particular filter grow bed was overflowing at that rate, so every day I've tried it in the morning to reduce it, just because I can't leave it on all day, because if this overflows while I'm not here, it's going to empty out the tank. So now I'm testing 2 minutes. 2 minutes should just be enough. So it should be enough to fill where it doesn't overflow, or 3 minutes, sorry. 3 minutes, and as you can see, it's already filtering out now. I'm testing 3 minutes, but I'm thinking that 2 minutes would be the safe bet. Let's see how 3 minutes does today in this test. This is just some old basil, holy basil, that they've germinated like, I don't know, 7 months ago, 6 months ago. And it's not really supposed to be a perennial plant, but we'll see. I've just been pulling off the dead leaves, and the root structure is still intact down there. There's another little tamarind tree kind of coming up there. I'll have to replant that eventually. It's going to have to be a mess because of all the root systems down there. As you can see down there, there's some chia plants that are sprouted. I've got a few up here, and we'll see what I'll decide what I'm going to grow up in this bigger one. But the idea is this is just draining down into this smaller, narrow grow bed. Also, I planted some oregano seeds on this side, and I think I see 1 or 2 sprouts coming up, but we'll have to see. They take about 10 days to germinate, apparently. So yeah, although this is solar powered off the grid mostly, that's an old repurposed car battery that wasn't good enough for the car anymore, and I had to change my battery last year sometime. So we just keep it with the solar power, and it's enough. As I see, even though you can't get a full 12, 13, 14 volt charge because it's an old battery, it's enough to get enough energy to power a pump and even lights if I needed it to. That there is an aerator. It's 12 volt aerator. So right now I've got it hooked up directly to a few 5-watt solar panels, and that would be that one on the end and this one on this end. So 10 watts total is feeding into it, but it doesn't get them optimal 10 watts. It'll get 5 to 7 watts. And when I do get the sun, as you can see, is over there rising. So we don't got energy in it now, but so all this energy from the pump right now is from stored energy in that battery. And over here we got charge controller, so just to make sure that the battery's not drained at nighttime by the solar panels, and that it just is giving the optimal charge that it can possibly do. That's the relay switch timer, and it's just run for 3 minutes and shut off just on time. And so let's look at the water level. So yeah, it wasn't overflowing at this rate, but this is the first pump of the day. If I've got it on every hour until 5 p.m., it'd be interesting to see, and that's why I don't want to run the pump while I'm not here. So I actually need to be here to monitor it, make sure, like, after the 3rd or 4th hour that it's not overflowing. So that's why I think 2 minutes would be a much safer time. Before I commit it to automatic pump fill during the day, I need to be here to monitor it for some tests. Otherwise, the fish down there, you can see any of them. There's a catfish there swimming around with some guppies. Otherwise, they'll be drained of their life element, water. So we don't want to do that. So yeah, these 2 bigger solar panels, just for your information, they are not powering any of these systems out here. That's a 40 watt plus a 40 watt. They are in fact running into the house. Not that light, that light, they technically are powering that light too. They're running into the house and ultimately going into a charge controller and out to charge this battery. Right now I've got an inverter plugged directly into my bedroom battery there, so I can charge this flashlight slash mosquito zapper. Unfortunately, I mean, it is a DC circuit, but it's got built-in inverter to make it AC for households, and so I can't find a way to really directly charge it like that, so I have to kind of go skirt around it and use an inverter. But that said, no problem at all, really. Obviously this can charge from 110 to 240 volts, but I'm using 220 volts to charge it, the inverter. So that's just a 300 watt inverter for small things like that, for charging devices that I can't easily charge DC direct. Alright, well that's 5 minutes of my tour of my kitchen experiments, kitchen garden experiments in my room. Just a quick little thing, I'll show you that another time. This light is turned on from inside. Oh yeah, one more thing. These old lead acid batteries, I was originally using them in my main solar systems, but they're not really ideal for deep discharge or charging solar panels, so that's why you need to use deep cycle batteries like I just showed you instead. But they still keep some charge when you trickle charge them, just hooked up directly, even though the panels will technically drain the battery at night. But even in the morning, after they've been drained all night from the solar panel circuit without a diode in there, you can see that it still is enough to turn on the light, which is sufficient. This is just a 5 watt bulb, direct current, that is sufficient to light up the kitchen area here during the daytime. But I don't really want to give you a full tour of the kitchen right now because it's super dirty. So yeah, I'm going to get another 5 watt. I'll probably switch out one of these 5 watts just to keep one of these batteries charged for maybe a 10 watt light or whatever else circuit I want to use in here, whilst I'll change and use a 10 watt solar panel. That's a 10 watt solar panel in the middle, which is actually being fed into the charge controller and keeping this battery topped up to pump this water into this grow bed. And again, we also have the aerator that's automatically clicks on when the sun is full beam on these two solar panels, these two 5 watt solar panels, which you'll get air bubbles in the water from approximately 8 to 9 a.m., starting 8, 9 a.m. when the sun is exposed enough to the solar panels, and it'll shut off by 12, 1, 2 o'clock, because then, during this time of year, because then the